Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is T and today I'm going to be doing a little test review type of video. We're just gonna get right into it because I don't really have an intro for this. So I just want to do a quick review of the Tati Blendiful. I bought this when it first came out, I think at the end of December, and I either got it at the end of December or the beginning of January. So I've had this for about 2 months, give or take, and I have to say, it's just all right. Everyone was kind of raving about how this is like a game changer for makeup application. It makes your makeup look so smooth and flawless and incredible, and you have to get it. So of course I fell into the hype and I bought it, and I don't really use it. I find myself using my brushes in my beauty blender a lot more often than I use this. It's just not appealing to me, and I don't know, I just found that it doesn't live up to the claim of making your makeup look super flawless and amazing. Like, I feel like I get the same effect with my makeup brush and beauty blender or whatever sponge I'm using. So do you need it? No. I think it's quite overpriced for what it is. Like, I just did a review on a Aliexpress one that was $3, and I feel like it did the same thing as the Tati Blendiful. So is it worth your money? I want to say no. If they decrease the price or put it on sale, maybe try it out if you want to, but I don't think this is a necessity for your daily makeup application. I think what you have already in your collection would work just fine. So that's kind of just my 2 cents on it. And also, like, I don't know if you've noticed, but every beauty guru who raved about it when it first came out and did a review about it saying like, oh my god, it's amazing, it's gonna make your makeup flawless and beautiful, I haven't seen them use the product in a video since making that review. So I mean, it could be just that, you know, people often don't like to change their routine. So if something works for them, they're gonna stick with that. So it could be that, but that's something to think about. I've had it for a while and I've used it 3 times. So I don't know. I don't think it's worth the money. If you guys think otherwise, let me know. Maybe I'm using it wrong. Let me know down below because I'd be curious to hear. So that's my thoughts on this, and yeah. Today we're gonna be reviewing the Tati Blendiful and this Beauty Papa sponge that I got off AliExpress. So I'm gonna include the screenshot or the video recording in this video so you guys can see, but I got this off of AliExpress for $3.29, whereas the Blendiful is $18. So size-wise, you can see that the AliExpress ones are much smaller in comparison to the Blendiful here. It feels just as soft. I actually think the Beauty Papa ones feel a lot softer. Okay, you know what? These feel exactly like how the baby, I think he calls it the baby Blendiful, but it feels just like how that feels. And the density of the baby Blendiful is the same as the AliExpress one. So when you kind of just like test the little, what do you call this? Like squishiness, squish factor, I don't know. This one is softer and this one's a little bit more like resistant to squish, I guess. So let's just look at the page here. It says, so it's titled Beauty Papa 2-piece Triangle Velvet Powder Cosmetic Puff Mini Beauty Sponge Makeup Puff Tool. So it's got 37 reviews, a lot of them in broken English. Yeah, nothing really on, you know, the use of it or the application process. And the page itself doesn't say anything either, but it looks just like it in the sense that it has the little black string going across. It's kind of the same shape too, if you think about it. This is just like the corners of this one are a little more rounded than this, but let's put it to the test and see if you're better off getting this $3 version or the Tati $18 version. Actually $20 after shipping and tax. So let's see. With the Tati Blendiful. It says that it's really good for applying pore filling primers, so we're just going to use the e.l.f. Putty Primer today. I watched Tati's video and she kind of just took her Blendiful and dipped it right into her primer, which terrifies me, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do this half of my face with the Blendiful and this half with the Aliexpress side and see what happens. So we're just gonna dip into, oh my gosh, there you go, dipping into my primer there. Got a very generous amount, and we're just gonna put on the primer right here. So in Tati's video, she kind of talks about how it's really great for filling in areas, so I'm gonna kind of focus this on just my cheeks here and see if this really stands up to the test. I'm going to be honest, this is maybe my third time using the Blendiful since getting it in December. I watched a lot of videos and everyone kind of talked about how amazing it was and how, you know, flawless it made your makeup look, and I didn't really get the same results. Maybe, you know, I didn't use it properly, but we'll see today again. So I just applied the pore filling primer on that side. I'm going to grab the AliExpress sponge and do the same thing on my other side, grabbing roughly the same amount here and just applying that. I don't notice a difference with how that filled in my pores, but we're gonna try on foundation next and see how that works. So I'm gonna be using my tried and true Tati Beauty foundation. This is a product that I know works. So I'm gonna take her sponge and just, I hate doing this, but I feel like for the purpose of the video, I should. Oh God, that's, okay. I squeezed out half of a pump of the Fenty foundation, and so this side was the Blendiful side. Tati in the video kind of swipes it on like this. And then once you get it on, you kind of stamp, is what she said, the product onto your skin. I feel like I need a little bit more product. Just putting a little bit more on the sponge here. And kind of wiping it where I feel like I need a little bit more coverage. Going around my nose, I'm gonna bend the sponge like this, and with my finger inside, kind of just pressing it around my nose here, because that's where I have some redness, and that's where my makeup tends to look weird, around my nose. I think that looks really good. Let me apply with the AliExpress sponge on the other side and kind of compare that. So again, I hate that this is white and I have to do this, but just gonna squeeze a pump on here, half a pump. There's no application instructions on how to use this, so I'm just gonna kind of do the same thing that I did on the other side with the Blendiful. So swipe it on and stamp it on. So kind of just bringing that to the center line there. And bringing it out. Let me look in the mirror and see how this looks. In my honest opinion, I think both sides look the same right now. So we're just gonna go in with concealer next and see how that goes. I'm gonna be using my tried and true Fenty Beauty concealer. Do my usual concealing and see how it looks. So I'm gonna do one side first because I think this kind of dries. We'll do the Blendiful first. I'm gonna grab this pointed part of the Blendiful and kind of just bend it with my finger inside, because Tati did mention a lot about having a finger in the middle to apply pressure to blend out your concealer and products. So we're gonna do that. I remember when this first released, I was reading all the reviews and people were saying that their Blendiful was like coming apart in the wash and leaving streaks on their face, and I was really terrified of buying this product because I did feel like $18 is a steep price point for a essentially just a cosmetic puff, if we're going to be honest. Definitely do think it does make it look a little more natural, a bit more seamless. So that is the Blendiful side done. It looks pretty nice so far. I'm going to do the other side. Go from there. So the Aliexpress sponge has a pointier side than the Blendiful. So if we're comparing here, this one is a bit more rounded and this is pointier, so that's just kind of something to note. And because this is smaller, you can't bend it in the way that you bend the Blendiful, but it's fine. I'm just gonna go for it. I think my stomach is like grumbling. I just ate, so I don't know why it's grumbling, but you know, stomachs have a mind of their own sometimes. I'm gonna flip this to this little corner here up top and see if this is any better. Okay, I think when I was using it on this side and kind of having just one finger here, it's a little bit hard to be precise, and also because I just have that one finger and I have my nail, your nail kind of digs into the sponge and it's a little bit too much pressure for underneath the eyes. It doesn't feel as nice and soft as the Blendiful because, like I said, you don't have with the Blendiful, it's a bit bigger, so when you do fold it, there's cushion on both sides of your finger like this, and you can just easily go in like this without applying too much pressure. But because this is a smaller size, when you fold the sides, you're still getting that full force of your finger and its nails. So I don't know, that's just something to note. I don't think it's anything, you know, to mark it down for. Okay, so both sides of concealer is applied, and I'm not gonna lie, I think both sides look really good. I think I'm gonna zoom you guys in a bit so you can see too. I think that you can see really for yourself how both sides look. I am gonna be 100% honest with you. I think both sides look incredible. I don't wanna mix things up, so I'm gonna blend out the little creases underneath my eye with the proper sponges. Let's do the forehead too. What do you guys think? I think it looks pretty good so far. They both look the same to me. Let me know what you think down below, because I'd be interested to hear if you see any differences that I don't. So let me know down below what you guys think. This side is the Blendiful and this side is the Aliexpress side. So this is just liquid products on my face so far. All right, now that I have the liquid products on, I want to put on a bit of a liquid blush. My usual Cloud Paint from Glossier. I'm gonna be using my favorite shade, Dusk. I'm gonna grab an empty area of the Tati Blendiful right here. Blend that out. Okay. See, I'm running out of real estate on the Aliexpress sponge because it is a lot smaller, but luckily you can flip it over if you want to. You kind of just pull the band and flip it over. So that's what I'm gonna do after I do this. So I'm going to grab this little area here and just blend out. Now that I put on the blush, I do think this side looks a bit better. I feel like my blush kind of just disappeared on this side. I'm not sure why, but there's that. So last thing with Blendiful to test is powder. I'm gonna be using my tried and true Laura Mercier. We're gonna see how each sponge applies powder. So I'm just gonna grab an empty area of the Tati sponge here, dip it into some powder. Whoa, that's a lot of powder. I don't usually bake, but we'll see how this does. I'm gonna see how this sets my whole face, see if it looks cakey or not. Because I ran out of real estate on the Aliexpress sponge, I'm just gonna flip it over and use the clean side. do the same thing. Just set my face with that powder. Alright, so I'm going to really quickly apply all of my makeup off screen, and I'm back and show you guys what it looks like once all of my makeup is applied. So that is the rest of my makeup applied using the Blendiful and the Aliexpress dupe. So again, this side is the Aliexpress dupe, and this side is the Blendiful. I honestly think both sides look the same. The only difference I see is my under eye looks slightly better on the Blendiful side than the Aliexpress side. I think on the Aliexpress side my creases kind of came through a little bit. They're not quite as flush and flawless on this as they are on this side, but in terms of skin and how my makeup applied and everything, I think both sides look really similar. I'm going to zoom you guys in just a second so you can kind of see up close and personal for yourself how each side looks. But honestly, I think this might be a dupe for the Blendiful. I've seen a lot of people do dupe videos using the Beauty Blender Powder Puff and various other puffs, like cosmetic puffs, and like I've even seen like someone use the Makeup Magic Eraser to see if it was a dupe, and I think this comes pretty close. So I'm gonna zoom you guys in and you guys can decide for yourself. Alrighty, so I'm holding the camera right in front of my face right now, and this is the Aliexpress side. Like I said, the under eye just doesn't look as nice as this side, which is the Blendiful side. But other than that, you know, I think both sides came out really well. Alrighty, so that was the whole video. Let me know what you guys think down below. I honestly, like I keep saying, both sides look so similar. So the only gripe I have is, you know, my under eye issue and also the size of these. I definitely prefer the size of the Blendiful. It's just a lot bigger, but the fact that you get two of these in one package for $3.29, you just can't beat that. The Baby Blendiful and the Tati, like the big Blendiful, come, I think mine was like a little over $20 after shipping and tax. So with that said, I hope you enjoyed the video. Again, these two products, I think this Aliexpress sponge is a dupe for this, as long as you're okay with some of the staining that's going to happen. I actually think that if you don't squeeze the product directly onto this Aliexpress sponge, you probably won't find it to stain as easily as it did. I think if you're interested in trying the Tati Blendiful and don't quite want to spend the 18 plus shipping and tax, go ahead and buy the ones from Aliexpress. I think they work just fine. And you're paying a fraction of the cost as long as you're willing to wait for it to ship in. Like I said, I ordered it around the time coronavirus happened, so it did take a little bit longer, but I think if you ordered it around now, it should be fine because I know that a lot of suppliers and factory workers are back to work. So last things last, I want to kind of clean these and see how they clean and hold up in the wash. I just wet the Blendiful a little bit, and I'm going to take this is the Beauty Blender Solid, and I'm just gonna kind of rub it on the areas that I just used. And then I'm just gonna kind of rub it together. See if it removes any product. My issue with the Blendiful, I keep saying Beauty Blendiful. The issue with the Blendiful that I've had in the past few times that I've used it is that it does stain almost immediately, even with like, you know, literally just having it sit for a few minutes. Your makeup will stain the sponge, and that's something that definitely annoys me. I get the black Beauty Blender just because I hate the staining that happens with some makeup products, but that has basically been over time staining. Alright, I don't know if you can see, but it's kind of stained right there, so let's try and go in with the solid again and see if that does anything. Back here. So this stain kind of came out, but this one's still here. This is fine. I'm just gonna leave it and let it dry and see how long it takes to dry. And now we're gonna move on to cleaning the Aliexpress sponge. So again, same thing. This one's a lot dirtier since it is white, so. Since it's wet, just gonna do the same thing. So with this sponge, there is definitely some staining there. I've washed it 3 or 4 times now and these stains aren't coming out. But it is white and you kind of expect that. So here's both of them in comparison. All right, so I'm gonna set these out to dry and we'll see how long it takes to dry. It is 3:58 right now. I'm gonna set these out to dry and I'll check back in and see how dry they are.